Hello, it's me, Dougie. I am here and I want to try and make this brief because I've noticed that the algorithms seem to favor me when I do short stuff. And I had an interesting moment happen to me earlier today that I wanted to take a second to talk about, and it was simply this. In the kind of flurry that of attention that my shorts or reels have gotten here on YouTube, I've actually had people responding to um, my reels. Like they've been commenting and things, and it's like not expected or anything, but they've been fairly kind of nice. It's like, oh, people are actually engaging, which is what I want this whole thing to be about. And there was, this is such a first world problem, but there's only been one kind of comment that has been in any way kind of negative or just hurtful, whatever. And I had a moment when I read that comment and I was like, oh, because, I've heard about and read about and thought about a little bit what it means to have kind of a following where people are going to be free to use their First Amendment rights to free speech and say whatever they want. And I've heard other people talk about who are much more popular than me, who get a lot of negativity toward them and how they deal with it. And they basically have to ignore it because there's so much of it and we can't be about that. And I've only got one that I know of. And I don't know if it shook me, but it was like, oh, there it is. That's going to happen. This is going to be like, not everyone can like me, and I'm not going to rub everyone's tummy the right way or whatever. I'm not going to float everyone's gears or blow their hair back or lift their, whatever. Anyway, but then it was interesting because as I was thinking about, well, how do I process this? The first thing I came to the consensus of was I don't need to respond to everyone, and that's okay. I don't. It's my channel to do and respond how I want with it. That's kind of how it goes. It doesn't mean I have to acknowledge, engage, or do whatever with everyone. But then, interestingly enough, as I was thinking about this, some other person responded, and they're like, that's really kind of an a-hole thing to be the first thing you ever say to anyone about anything. And I'm like, oh, wow. That's just like, I was affirmed in the sense, it's like, I'm not trying to do dumb or be bad or any negative thing, and yet here someone does that to me, and instead of me having to ignore it, which I still am, alone, someone else who just is kind and compassionate and cares in some semblance of a way stepped up to the plate and just said, you know what, that's not very nice, in their own way. You should be more respectful in their own way. And it just made me feel like there was some hope in humanity. Not that hope is only in humanity. I mean, I believe in Jesus, and as much as life isn't easy, I know he is where my ultimate hope is. So I'm not trying to argue the case that I have a supreme hope of any kind outside him, but I digress. And my phone's being hit up, and I wish it would stop, and I hope it's not being recorded on here. So I'm going to let you go, but it was nice. Peace.